Good morning. My name is Gordon Rawling. I look after our marketing activities across EMEA for the communications industry. And we're here at Mobile World Congress, the largest mobile show in the world, really to talk with our clients and our partners in terms of the different areas of Oracle's hardware and software solution capabilities and how they can help those people be successful in the business they're trying to do, be that in the consumer space or in the enterprise space. So it's a really interesting time this week. I think data traffic and how service providers can really differentiate what they deliver as data rather than it just being raw data, I think is a really important conversation, and certainly one which we're having all the time with our clients. It's really interesting. I mean, the industry talks an awful lot about data, and it is a large part of the future. But today, still 70% of the revenue comes from voice as well, so we shouldn't forget that. But certainly, I think what we're seeing is that service providers have the ability to really do something different, especially when you compare it against some of their new competitors. If you look at the wealth of information which service providers hold and know about us as consumers, there's a wonderful opportunity to bring that together at the right time, in the right way, to give something which is unique to you, unique to me in terms of a service, and really move towards that position where it is a true relationship. Because while service providers have a tremendous longevity of relationship with their customers, they haven't always made the most of that in terms of offering a differential service. And that's where we're focusing, because as Oracle, we have a tremendous legacy in information, in data. But data is not valuable unless you do something with it. And so what we're spending an awful lot of time doing is working out how to connect that data at the right time, in the right way, to the systems which support customers. And it offers a tremendous amount of differentiation, and we believe revenue as well for service providers. I think there's a couple of things that need to be considered as part of that. It absolutely is a phenomenal opportunity, but technology should actually be thought about slightly second as part of this, because one of the big challenges actually is how the business wants to operate, how the business wants to work, what kind of relationship the service providers want to have, because there is such a wealth of data and information there. There also is a great responsibility in terms of what you do with that data and information, and so those business decisions need to be made before you actually start thinking about the technology. Sometimes the technologies come first, and Oracle obviously is a technology solution provider, but technology is only ultimately part of the answer, as part of the where service providers can take some business opportunity. It's also an area where increasingly there's an awful lot of regulation, quite rightly so, in terms of data protection and these kind of things, which need to be considered at the beginning rather than at the end. I think once those kind of issues have been thought through, what we're seeing is we're getting to a very interesting point in time now where the technology performance is such that we can really start to try and deliver on information right now, actually informing business processes while those business processes are working. And changing those business processes based on where you are, what you're doing. And so I think there's a great opportunity to bring that together when it's built on the right business approach and the kind of relationship the service providers want to have. Well, I think a key element of that redefinition is actually in differentiating it. Service providers have been in this industry since the beginning of this industry. However, they've found themselves in a position now where they need to show what's different about each other, what's different about each individual service provider, but also what's different compared to people who can deliver services over the top of them. And so as you redefine it, you need to redefine it towards something. And that needs to be determined. What kind of brand relationship can they have, and then how do they reinforce that brand relationship? Because in pure brand term, it's the same as anything else. you've got to stand for something, and then you've got to deliver on what you stand for. And service providers' brands are incredibly strong, but they probably do need to evolve in terms of that connectedness to their consumers and that intimacy, really, where they're truly trusted in terms of the kind of services that can be provided. And service providers feel, or customers rather, feel comfortable and happy with the insights that they can bring to the services they provide.
Okay, a trend that is implemented in Europe is the mobile virtual operator networks. We don't have in Romania such thing. Do you have a perspective of the countries that implemented this model, how it's changed the business model of the operators in the countries? Because I suppose Oracle is already involved in such projects for mobile virtual operator networks.
Yes, and mobile virtual network operators, I think, are a given part of the environment today. In various different countries, the actual availability of them is being shaped by regulation. In Eastern Europe and also in the Middle East, it's just starting to open up in that respect. And I think what we're seeing is there's been a bit of a life cycle. And so where mobile virtual operators have come in, there's been incredible increased competition in the short term. Oracle as an organization is focused more at the business, operational support systems and the enterprise systems and the hardware which supports that. And so we're very much there to support our service provider clients as they go through that evolution. However, one of the things that we've focused very hard upon is that technology moves forward, network technology moves on all the time. This year we're talking about LTE, there will be something next. And the life cycle of that technology needs to be supported by the business systems, the operational systems, for longer than just a technology life cycle. And so the way we look at it is, well, our applications and our systems need support 2G, 3G, 4G, wherever it goes, because they don't want to have to swap out every single one of their systems. And so we spend an awful lot of time thinking about the implications of the newer network technologies, but only really to make sure that our applications can support it when and if they come. Because that's also very important. We get very focused on the network technology, but the reality is that in all countries, all service providers are going to be running a heterogeneous environment for many, many years to come. They will have 3G mixed with Wi-Fi, mixed with 4G, in some countries even rolling back to 2G. So all of those technologies need to be supported at the same time seamlessly in the applications that we deliver. Oracle has been serving service providers ever since we began in our core technologies over a quarter of a century ago. And we're proud to really be in a position today where 100 out of the top 100 service providers make use of Oracle technology and solutions. So it's not just the big guys, it's across the whole spectrum. I think what we're seeing is that there's a real focus in terms of where they can add value, in terms of the relationships that they have with their customers. There's also a recognition that yes, price is continually going to be under pressure. And in order for them to really compete successfully, they really need to try and do two things. One is whatever they have today, they need to optimize that to a very different scale from where they are today. And that gives two benefits. It gives a benefit that they can reduce the cost of delivering services, which is always good when your price is being pressured. But what it also does is it allows you to move faster. And the second thing they really need to do is be more innovative. And unless you can move fast, you can't be innovative. You're always going to be behind what everyone else is doing. And so we're working with them all to really try and understand how can we help you optimize what you have today? How can you be a lot simpler? How can things like flow-through provisioning work every single time? Because when it does, without any human interaction, that's a lot quicker, it's a higher quality, and it allows your people to focus on innovation for customers, as opposed to just keeping the lights on, which need to be on, but customers don't really care. They just want the service to be delivered accurately, on time, and at a price they can buy. So it's really about optimizing what they have today so they can move a lot faster and innovate and deliver services.